Hello everybody, welcome, good evening. We are here for the first match of the playoffs. It is the MIT League of Legends Club 2016 Spring Tournament. We're here bringing you our first matchup. It is the number 3 seed coming in, Team8S, starting off on the blue side, facing off on the red side, the number 6 seed in this tournament, Water Buffalo. We're here for a best of 3 series tonight, getting it started on patch 6.9.
Oh yeah, I think this is the first game I've cast out of this fashion. I am excited for some of these new champions, some of these new items, and some of these new objectives.
I'm excited for the Malzahar Instaban.
Yes, the Malzahar Instaban is not very surprising there.
Yep.
Even after the hotfix, I think he's still a little bit overtuned.
Just
a little bit.
He's quite strong.
Just a little bit. But we do just see a lot of power bans on this patch. That Volibear is targeted at Green Bay. Volibear still pretty good right now. Maokai has actually shot up the charts in win rate in top lane, and that's a very solid, just like general power ban. We'll see what these teams end up rounding out their bans with. There are just a lot of strong things to ban on this patch, which is why we're not seeing as many target bans as you'd expect from past MIT local games. And yeah, there's the Fiddlesticks ban, another just power pick right now.
Yep. Yeah, and interestingly, I think one of probably the first times in this tournament that we've not seen the bans targeted against Pinducky. So we'll see what the last ban coming out of here is, but we tend to see a lot of the split push champions get banned out. So like Kale, Jax, Ryze, we've seen
there
a lot.
We go.
And there's the Ryze ban.
As you say it.
Yeah, one out of 3 target Pinducky, but he is going to be able to pick up one of those split pushing champions that he loves playing so much.
Yeah, okay, so the teammates are just banning out the power picks, and they're gonna first pick Lucian. Nice, safe AD carry, can build a comp around that, can build him into a comp. Pretty good first pick right there.
Yeah, just very good all-around ADC pick.
Yeah.
Gonna be going over to Cruiser there. And yeah, on the other side, we see a lot of bans targeted at the mages, I guess. So Maokai, kind of a strong tank in general, but Malzahar and Fiddlesticks getting some pretty significant work in patch 6.9.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Maokai, they didn't really change Maokai directly that much, but because of the way the meta has changed a little bit around him, he's become a lot stronger. It's a little bit harder to itemize against him in lane. New Rod of Ages is really good for his sustain. It pushes his already ridiculous sustain just through the roof with that new Catalyst passive. He's a very strong laner, very strong team fighter right now. So we do see that ban coming out. The Victor and the Garen getting picked up. This is interesting. I do want to talk about the Victor changes. His damage potential is higher now by actually a fairly substantial margin. The trade-off being that his damage is clunkier to land. Death Ray's explosion is later. Chaos Storm ticks less frequently. So if you can actually set up all your damage correctly, he's much more rewarding, but he's also a little more awkward to play. So I don't actually know if he's in a great place right now, but numbers-wise, he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think clunky is absolutely the right word from the feedback I've seen on it so far.
Thanks, Riot.
On the other side, do you see Fluffykins again picking up the Janna? Going to be a Lucian Janna lane. We've seen Cruiser and Fluffykins play that earlier on in this tournament as well. That's going to give them a lot of early trade potential. Mm-hmm. I think, as I think I've mentioned this before on this cast, but yeah. The Janna shield has deceptively high trade potential with the AD steroid that you get off of that.
Yeah.
And with Lucian landing the double shot passive, that's just a lot of damage in relatively few attacks that you can land quickly in lane.
Yep. Lucian always being good at weaving autos between his abilities, getting in and getting out very quickly. Now this is interesting because they've already picked a mage.
I don't think they're actually going to be coming through with these picks.
Okay.
It would be cool to see some kind of Ziggs pick up, but I think they're just troll hovering.
Cool is one word to describe it. Not a fan of the new Ziggs.
Oh, don't like the turret execute?
No, I don't like anything about Ziggs.
I've been a fan of Ziggs for a long time, and I love I can just blow up turrets now. That's a thing that I can do.
That is a terrible mechanic. I don't know what they were thinking, but anyways, we see the Silver Braum getting locked in. So two very well-rounded bottom lanes, I think. Both with the potential to both go aggressive and defensive.
Yeah, and very quick Talon pickup, actually, for Kaleido going to be in the mid lane. And we do see Pinducky, Kale's left open, picks it up pretty much immediately.
Kale's actually a very good pick right now. If you can manage to afford it, the new Rage Blade is incredible on her. Hitting twice with your E damage every second auto.
Yeah, and Rage Blade and Nashor's Tooth on Kale is going to be a very strong combo in this patch.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. Now, something we haven't talked about is Green Bay's pickup of Elise. I don't think we've seen him on anything remotely similar to this kind of champion before.
We've actually, well, that's mostly because Elise has been getting banned out fairly frequently in his games. I think when he's not picking up the volley bear, it's mostly been the Elise. Those have been his two most commonly played junglers.
Really? I don't remember seeing him on Elise.
Yeah, I think we've just seen him only on volley bear.
Okay, might have just been the games I've casted.
Yeah. Yep, and we do see Graves getting picked up. That's going to round out the comp with Coenzyme DA going into the jungle. So just to look around at both of these comps, on the blue side, 4 teammates, Kale in the top lane, Elise in the jungle, Talon in the mid lane, and a Lucian Janna bot lane. On the other side, Garen up top, Graves in the jungle, Victor in the mid lane, and Braum Sivir in the bot lane to round that out.
Yeah, now Water Buffalo does have an extremely tanky team composition. The Garen, the Braum, even the Graves, all going to be very, very hard to kill coming on later into the game. But on the other hand, Teammates has no lack of sustained damage. Talon is a burst assassin. Talon has a lot of AoE potential for a burst assassin though, and Lucian and Kale are more than capable of putting out the sustained damage late game. The only concern is that they might not, be able to out-beef Water Buffaloes. Just because their comp lacks a true tank. Like, once the Kale ultimate is down, your team has no substantial tankiness unless Elise chooses to go that tank route, and even then, she's not going to compare to the likes of Garen and Braum. So that's a little bit of a mismatch right there, but they definitely have the damage to burn through those tanks.
Yeah, and particularly in a team fight, if you're able to get the Kale ultimate down onto your Lucian, say, and keep him alive for an extra few seconds in the fight, that's going to be huge for him getting off another round of spells, another few combos in that fight, and getting down a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that combination is going to be how they get a lot of their damage in team fights.
Yeah. Now, I'm interested to see whether we'll see any of these new items picked up on Victor. With Victor's new mechanics on his E and his ultimate, I would not be surprised to see a Rylai's come out actually, to let him get the E detonation more reliably and to let him to get the Chaos Storm ticks more reliably. I also really want to see the Rocket Belt just in general. It's a very, very fun item. I don't know if I like it being in the game, but it's hard to admit that it's not a fun item.
Yeah, we could see that possibly as an early pickup for maybe a little bit of extra safety against the Talon.
Absolutely.
I do think that Mafcow is going to need some kind of defensive itemization fairly early on in this game.
Yes.
Ordinarily against a magic damage mid laner, you might see Victor pick up an Abyssal Scepter. That's not really going to be an option for him in this game. There's not huge amounts of magic damage coming down. When Kale gets into the later game, that's going to be mostly magic damage.
Yeah.
But in the early game, it seems like the Lucian and the Talon are going to be more the ones to worry about for damage.
Right. And one thing that's really fun about this patch is that, the diversity of mage builds has increased slightly. Against this Talon, there are probably at least 2 or 3, if not more, viable, early game builds that I can think of, which is a lot of fun, and it'll be interesting to see what he goes for this game. You could just do the standard mage build, going for Morellos with damage. You could go for Rod of Ages, you could go for the Hourglass component, what the heck is it called? Seeker's Arm Guard, there we go.
Yes.
Losing my marbles today. But there are a lot of really cool options, and that's something I really like to see in League of Legends.
Yeah, and I do agree with you that Rylai's might be a strong pickup for Victor. We did see that on Victor's in previous patches as well, but
not
as
very
you say,
frequently.
Particularly for the extra reliability on the E.
Right. I feel like we've seen it before, and not very commonly. I expect it to become more common if Victor gets played, because it will help him land his damage more reliably. It'll declunkify his kit as much as you can, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I do want to talk just a little bit more about Pinducky actually getting the Kale in this game. We've seen it banned away almost every time, and seen him fall back to Ryze or Jax.
Right.
He now finally has the Kale, and you kind of have to think that Water Buffalo will have expected this to some degree.
Yes.
So how do you think that the Garen in the top lane is going to be able to deal with the split push threat that Kale is going to be bringing?
It's a bit of a weird lane, because Kale does not necessarily have the damage early to bully around the Garen. And then when Kale gets the damage, Garen is going to have his tank stats. However, on the other hand, magic resist itemization was nerfed pretty substantially this patch. I guess it's not a huge nerf once you have built all the items you want, but for laning phase, magic resist itemization for bruisers is actually a lot weaker. So Hex Drinker is still just as strong. Spirit Vision and Banshee's Veil, though, they are not quite as strong. The stats on both of those have been hit up quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it was in particular Spirit Visage lost some of its MR
Yes.
in this most recent patch.
Banshee's Veil gained MR and lost a ton of HP, and Spirit Visage lost a bunch of MR. So
yeah, and with Garen, I think Spirit Visage is a really common core item just because it synergizes so well with his passive for
absolutely
combat healing.
But I do expect to see an early Hex Drinker on him. I don't necessarily know if this lane swings inherently either way, because Garen's just very hard to push out of lane. And you can cleanse the kill, so it just run out her anyways. So, it'll be interesting. I expect the jungler to swing that lane a little bit, at the very least.
Yep, absolutely. And we have seen Green Bay in some previous games in this tournament make really great early game impact, kind of running in with the volley bear. So
Absolutely.
I do think that he'll be able to do a lot of the same things with the Elise that we've seen.
No, I wouldn't call it quite as straightforward to gank on, but yes. The stun is nice. Damage is nice. We've seen it. We've all seen the plays this guy makes on volley bear. So. All right, and it looks like we are just about loading into game. Riot.
It made the noise at us. So.
Riot, please.
In game at any moment now.
Thanks a lot, Riot. There we go.
There we are.
There we go. And good luck, have fun to both teams.
Good manners at the start of the game. I like that.
Good sportsmanship.
Be like those teams.
Be like those teams. Oh, do you remember that awful Facebook meme?
No.
Alright, Horkley refuses to remember the awful Facebook meme. Oh man, that was a dark time. It's a dark time.
I believe you. All right, and we do see early grouping from both of these teams. Doesn't look like either of them are likely to run into each other, as they're just kind of guarding their sides of the map for now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually another interesting change. I'm wondering if we're going to see it come into play here. Is the mechanic for sharing jungle experience actually changed in this patch?
Yes.
So your laners are now able to give your junglers a much stronger leash at the start of the game and not take away their experience. It's only the killing blow gets the full experience now, rather than sharing it with your nearby teammates.
Yep.
So
No,
we'll see if anyone actually takes them up on it.
Yeah, I think we'll see about the same strength of leash as we did before, because they never really buffed jungle strength that substantially, so I think they're gonna be okay. But we do see teammates splitting off a little bit. Pinducky is headed towards that top side now. And it looks like it's just going to be a quiet early game. Defensive posturing, defensive wards ensure no cheeky plays from either team in this playoff series.
Yeah,
or rather in game 1 of the playoff series.
Yeah, and this is going to be a best of 3, as we mentioned earlier, so could see this going to 3 games. I hope so.
I mean, I always like the long series.
Missing a couple CS early on from Mafcow, putting down a little bit of chunking onto Kaleido, though, so nice early damage.
Ooh, that's a lot of minions you're tanking there, Wolstenholme.
Yeah, Wolstenholme going in a little bit deep, taking some damage from Pinducky. He's got the E up, is actually going to hit him. Has to flash on turn. Pinducky gets the first blood. Complete solo kill in the top lane. Wolstenholme wandering just too far forward in that top lane, not respecting the Kayle damage.
Yes, and that's absolutely a misplay from Garen in that top lane. Garen's power spike in lane is not at level 1, it's at level 2. When he has the EQ combo, he Qs you in, silences you, and then spins in your face and does a lot of damage. In addition, that entire time, I think he was tanking something like 7 or 8 minions. Obviously,
yeah, it was an entire wave worth of minions.
And plus some, I think. And that's going to do a lot of damage to you early game, even if you are Garen with that Corrupting Potion. So, overstepping a little bit, I think, and that actually is going to cost him the first blood in that lane. That is very painful.
Yeah, but nice job from Pinducky knowing he had exactly 1 attack left to get there, and that could be big.
I mean, given how strong Pinducky has historically been on the scale, I think that's going to work out very well for him.
Yeah, Kaleido going in deep. Green Bay is coming up with support from the jungle. Flash from Mafcow. Green Bay flashing after him. Misses the cocoon, though. Mafcow doing a good job getting a little bit behind his minion wave. Had he walked the other way, that would have hit and probably would have been a kill for Green Bay. So Flash traded for Flash, but down on the mid laner, and we probably are going to see Green Bay returning to that lane pretty soon.
Yep, slight misprediction there, but that does open up the window for Kaleido to make a play after he backs and gets some health and items. So I wouldn't call that the worst.
Yeah, and I think that did allow a little bit of counter juggling. It looks like Coenzyme DA did take the opposing Raptor camp.
Yeah, I mean, meanwhile, Green Bay's in the Oh, Green Bay is in his own jungle. Sorry, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking today. That's totally fine. Clearly, I have my life together. Ooh, avoids that turret shot. And now Pinducky is going to have a level lead in this game. That's what happens if you die really early in game and you don't TP back to lane. It's more than the gold you're losing, it's the experience. As we see a gank coming in the bottom lane, though.
Coenzyme DA coming in on Graves. They do spot this out. They did have a ward in the river, so they're going to turn around and actually get a nice little chunk of damage. Cruiser dodging out on all of Graves' abilities.
Good tornado.
Yeah, very good tornado from Janna. Good reaction to the gank. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Green Bay going on a Mafcow, pops the barrier. Green Bay going to wait until that runs out. The red buff ticking down, does go down the mid lane. Kill goes over to the Talon. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we're going to see a little bit more trading, perhaps, as Brum walking forward, actually trading in every lane going on now. Wolstenholme, yeah, not going to stand in the middle of the minion wave this time.
Learned his lesson.
Good plan. Both of those top laners are fairly low, but Wolstenholme has been forced under his turret this whole game, now has a 20 CS deficit already at just 4.5 minutes in.
Yeah. Now, Pinducky still has a little bit of mana, and he has a heal. Wolstenholme is out of Corrupting Potion stacks already.
Yeah, Pinducky actually just went back to base, was able to pick up a Stinger on the first back, so that's going to be a whole lot of attack speed, a little bit of cooldown reduction, so that's going to be keeping the E up. I think when Kale gets to, I think it's 30% CDR, you can have the E on permanent uptime.
Yes.
So already getting toward that point.
I think it's actually slightly lower than 30%, but nobody that's impossible to itemize that anymore. So
yes. And Green Bay is in the opposing jungle once again. Looks like he's going to try and make a play onto the mid lane here. Coming out, Mafcow just sees him coming later. The Cocoon lands, going to be getting a ton of damage. Green Bay gets caught in the gravity field, still putting down a lot. Kaleido gets a second kill in the mid lane. Green Bay, a great job once again with that return gank. Mafcow's flash still on half of its cooldown, and he's come back twice, getting a kill both times.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay is taking so much advantage of that situation where he just has his flash on cooldown, because you burn the flash, you come back for the gank, guess what? Elise doesn't need flash to gank. Victor doesn't have flash. Victor's very, very immobile, and if you can land that cocoon, that's just what's going to happen over and over and over again.
And now this roaming gank squad coming down to the bot lane, they were not expected. Veni Vidi Vici gets caught out a little bit, flashes and a nice W to get back underneath his turret. Should stay alive just fine, but forcing another flash here out of Water Buffalo. Green Bay some really, really nice early pressure.
Yeah, now if that gank happens again, Kaleido is going to have his ultimate, and that's going to be a much, much scarier situation. Interested in seeing what runes Pinducky is running, actually. But I doubt we'll have a moment for that. As we see Wolstenholme going pretty low.
Wolstenholme taking a bunch of damage again. Solo kill from Kale in the top lane, just running straight at him. Wolstenholme does not have any items going against the Stinger, so that's a big gold deficit. Yeah. With the death, is going to be able to pick up a little bit of magic resist with the Null Magic Mantle, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. He's already well down in this lane. Meanwhile, teammates picking up their first dragon of the game, uncontested.
Yep, that is going to be an Earth Dragon. Now, it is a little confusing to keep all the dragon buffs straight. Ooh, as we see some more action.
Also, no, diving in. Pinducky's actually pretty low, getting spun on. Coenzyme DA is coming around. He's going to go down unless he is able to pop his ultimate very soon. No, Pinducky doesn't put it down.
Wow.
Did not think that Coenzyme DA had the burst, I guess. A little bit of a confusing decision. I think he would have been able to stay alive there. Good job by Coenzyme DA coming through the river. They had the Tri-Brush warded. And Pinducky, I guess, was pushed up far enough that he thought Graves would be coming out of his own jungle, but just came straight up the river.
That's interesting. He had both his flash and ultimate up for that. I fully expected that to be a situation where it was possible for him to escape, but I guess he just didn't want to burn those cooldowns, which is an interesting decision.
Yeah.
I
guess taking it as a back opportunity because he's picked up the Fiendish Codex, but...
Right,
yeah,
like, I understand saving the flash cooldown. I don't know why you wouldn't save intervention. I don't understand why you would try to save intervention for that, though, because that's not on that long a cooldown to begin with.
Yeah.
But
so
it is what it is.
Does go back. Pinducky is still going to have a pretty substantial gold lead in that top lane. Is up about 20 CS as well as 2 kills to the 1 assist for his lane opponent.
Mm-hmm.
In the mid lane, Kaleido's going to be pushing in fairly aggressively now, as he's picked up that Tiamat.
Yeah, that does wonders for Talon.
Yeah, that is a big spike. Green Bay in the opposing jungle throws out the cocoon. Can't actually land it, so it does get the blue buff steal and should be able to get out of here alive. Kaleido coming in. Coenzyme DA will see him coming. That's a lot of burst onto the jungler. Graves going quite low. The stun lands from Brom, but it's not quite enough. They will trade back the kill onto Kaleido, so it is a 1-for-1 trade. And double flash over the wall. Green Bay gonna be able to get out with the shield from Fluffykins. He stays alive. So in the end, 1-for-1 trade, mid laner going down for the jungler on the other side, but it is the support who picks up the kill, so that's probably in favor of teammates.
And it's a good collapse by Water Buffalo to ensure that the teammates don't get any more out of that situation than they already would have. As we see Pinducky going a little bit aggressive in the top lane again.
Yeah,
That
Wolstenholme is
battle.
far out from his tower, going to be taking a whole lot of auto attacks. The E going down for a
Oh,
moment,
wow.
but Pinducky just so oppressive in this lane early on. Gets another kill.
Those Fervor of Battle stacks add up. They really do.
Yeah, Fervor of Battle doing quite a lot there.
Yeah, and at this point, there's not that much that Wolstenholme is going to be able to do. He needs to just farm under his turret, play it safe. Even that is not that safe, because with the intervention, Kayle is completely comfortable diving you under your turret, but he needs to itemize defensively, play safe, just try to farm up and scale into the mid and later games. Look to make plays around the map. But Teammates has a very, very comfortable lead right now.
Yeah, that is going to be a completed item already for Pinducky as he finishes off that Nashor's Tooth.
Oh, that is
Cruiser
very
going in
big.
for some trading, about 2/3 of the health down on Veni Vidi Vici. Junglers are nowhere in sight at the moment. So Fluffykins and Cruiser can continue trading here. The culling going on onto Veni Vidi Vici. Nearly gets him. The flash forward will get the kill. The Janna shield going to keep him alive under turret. And Coenzyme DA actually has to... Coenzyme M, sorry, has to flash backwards to get out of there. These names are too similar. Another kill picked up in the bottom lane.
Yep, and Scumbag directed camera taking us away from all of the action.
Yeah. And Scumbag Fred hasn't turned the interface back on.
Thanks, Horkley. Thank you, Horkley. Oh, we see that the annoying trinket bug is still there, though. Where it shows all of them as on cooldown, regardless of what the cooldown is. And Kaleido's going to the top
Yeah,
side.
that's annoying. Gonna roam in the top lane, not able to make anything happen, but he's gonna force Wolstenholme underneath turret. Garen, okay, just
Yeah,
coming out
it's-
far enough to put a ward in that bush.
It's not a bad idea, though, because Wolstenholme is not itemized for any armor right now. And even
Yeah,
if that
meanwhile-
Garen W passive does give you armor, it's not going to be that much as we see
Yeah,
the
Green
gate coming
Bay
out.
in the mid lane stuns up Mafcow. That's gonna be an easy kill by the looks of it. Yep, and the barrier not enough. Talon just going straight through it. And now Coenzyme DA has come in. That's actually an Ignite put down by Talon, but Kaleido gonna have to back up here. Green Bay also gonna have to go up. The minions blocking off the auto attack from Coenzyme DA. That's when it's unfortunate to be a Graves, as the jungler escaping on very low health. If any of those auto attacks had gone through, that would have been lethal damage onto Green Bay.
Oh, just barely not able to make that play work.
Yeah, so another nice gank there coming in from Green Bay. Wolstenholme, again, a little bit out from his turret, taking 2/3 of his health. Pinducky's still getting attacks on Wolstenholme, walking forward. He's going to die for this.
Yep.
And he's just completely unable to deal with Kayle in the top lane. He pretty much just cannot leave turret range
No, he
at this
can't.
point in the game.
He has to let Pinducky push into his turret. If
And
he,
another gank coming in the bot lane. Green Bay still fairly low. Gonna try and go into Coenzyme M. They nice pushback with the Janna ultimate. Should be able to pick him up here. Gonna need to land a Howling Gale. Oh no, that's Green Bay picking up the kill. Does get the execute damage there. The Braum passive not quite landing to stop him there. And
gonna jump to safety.
yeah, jumps to safety. They're going a little bit aggressive underneath the turret. Kaleido jumping onto Mafcow. Again, jungler is not quite there yet, and Kaleido's going to get some nice damage. Gets stunned up by the gravity field, not quite under turret range, so he'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think they're both going to disengage that, though. We'll see if Kaleido goes in too deep. Oh, he's going to
Yeah.
see that ward get put down, actually, so he knows the jungler is there. He's not going to want any of that, and he backs off immediately.
Yeah, well spotted by Kaleido.
Yeah. Alright, Coens, I'm going for the Scuttle Crap there. Can they? Nope, Pinducky finishes back, okay.
Yep.
What's he
And
gonna pick up?
Pinducky about 60 CS up in the top lane is going to be a recurve bow picked up.
Okay.
So
So here's
I believe that builds into Rage Blade nowadays.
It does.
So I'm guessing most likely
Oh!
Mafcow taking a ton of damage. So much burst from Kaleido. Bursting down the Victor immediately there. That's going to be another dragon opportunity if they want to take this here, as I don't think that Water Buffalo can really contest this. Veni Vidi Vici coming over to maybe get a ward down, but they can't fight this. It's going to be 2 against up to 4 once Cruiser gets back into lane. They're chasing them down a little bit here. Flash from Green Bay gets the stun onto Coenzyme M. Really well targeted to get the Sivir. That's the AD carry down. Flash back from Veni Vidi Vici. The Braum Q only hits the Spiderlings, and that should be dragon number 2 picked up.
Yep. Very, very good decision to commit 4 people bot side for that gank and to secure this second Fire Dragon. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, and at the same time, Pinducky also pushing in the top lane. I think he might be able to get that turret down fairly soon.
Yeah.
Garen coming back to the top. Yep, he's just letting all of the minions die off before he finishes it.
There we go.
Wolstenholme coming in. No, you do not want to fight this, Garen. Yeah,
Has to burn the flash.
Runs in, flashes back. Did not want to be there, and Pinducky can just walk forward and force him under his second tier turret. In the bottom lane, Cruiser's also going to be getting this turret. That's going to be 2 outer turrets down along with this dragon.
Now, Coenzyme DA is going to be able to get this gank off. It's going to get spotted up by that ward. We'll see if Pinducky can actually fight them 1v2, as Wolstenholme goes in a little bit too early.
Yeah, Garen down to about half health. He's going to peel off now. Just focus down Coenzyme DA. He does have his ultimate up if he needs it. Walks underneath the turret. The execute comes down, but it's not enough damage. Flashes underneath the turret.
Oh!
Gets the attack off. Does not get the second kill, though. Wolstenholme, I think he stopped to mastery spam, and that kills him off.
All right, let's go back and watch that again, because directed camera really messed things up royally there. So we see the gank coming in, and this time we're going to stick onto top lane. We see the gank coming in. Pinducky, Wolstenholme goes in a little bit too early, takes too much free damage from Pinducky, and then Coenzyme misses the Q and just takes too much damage from Pinducky. Now, Pinducky could have shielded the ultimate, and what happens is his ranged auto attack actually runs out before he can finish the kill on Wolstenholme. Meanwhile, there was a double kill that came out in bot lane. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one as well, Ben.
Yep, so this is right after that turret's going down. We're going to relive this 30 seconds a couple times, because a lot of good action happening on the map in this game. So Cruiser, they get the turret kill down. We see Green Bay roaming through the jungle over by Gromp, and I don't think he does not get spotted at all until he runs over that ward. The Sivir ultimate gets popped, but a nice stun landed onto Veni Vidi Vici. Coenzyme M actually turns around to try and save his support, and I think that's what ended up killing him there. He had the speed to run away, but Fluffykins was able to get behind, get the Jan ultimate, and push him back into the rest of the team.
It's a very, very solid Jan ultimate there.
Yeah, I think that's one of those times when
Flash Jan ult is worth it.
Your Flash Jan ult's worth it, but also your support is dead. Just leave them for dead.
I think so, yeah.
Don't try and be a hero.
Yeah.
And get out of there with your life.
So. Oh, that play by Pinducky was so unfortunate, though. Like, if he had gotten that last auto off, he would have gotten
diving
easily.
In underneath turret again. Barrier gets popped. Kaleido actually taking turret shots. A great gravity field keeping him in the Victor ultimate, but now this roaming squad,
he's so dead.
It's a 3-on-1, so he'll die pretty much immediately. Somehow Green Bay getting that kill. I think that was the Venom getting in there. So Cruiser not quite getting that one. Nice play by Kaleido underneath turret. So yeah, if you can keep them in the Chaos Storm, it does a whole lot more damage, but the length of time between ticks is heavily increased. Pinducky, there's 2 up here. Veni Vidi Vici has roamed up. He should be able to kill off Wolstenholme in just a minute, though. Nice knock up here from Braum. Gets exhausted, goes invulnerable, and they're able to switch around targets so that Pinducky can't take anything down. He has his heal. The burst from Coenzyme DA finally going to finish off the kill, but it took 3 of them to get it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, 3 pushing down that tower. So that is all of the outer turrets now down by teammates. No turrets down so far for Water Buffalo. Looks like we also have a spectator bug with the dragon counter. I think that's probably with the new elemental dragons.
Yeah.
The dragon counter has not updated. So it is 2 dragons to 0.
It's going to be an interesting UI decision for Riot as to how to implement that without making it look horribly clunky.
Yeah, unfortunately, the spectator client is slower to catch up most of the time, we'll say.
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. Pinducky has been putting himself in a position to get ganked and, like, bodied by multiple people repeatedly, and it's actually been working out, because off of that, they got the mid turret. Earlier, because of that, they got the bot turret. They got Dragon because of that, because Water Buffaloes, committed the jungler topside, and now Wolstenholme with no armor. I don't know if he can actually fight Kaleido's Talon right now.
Yeah, Kaleido going in on the ultimate doesn't land on him, but the slow comes in, the stun comes in, Kaleido puts in the damage. That's another kill onto this Garen. Been having such a difficult time. He's finally finished off the Spirit Visage, but Pinducky's Kale is actually doing a whole lot of physical damage with the Fervor of Battle stats.
Yes, that's what I wanted to point out for the last, like, 8 minutes, and I just haven't been able to.
Pinducky underneath the turret, he's taking shots again, but putting damage onto Mafcow.
He dodges the gravity field completely, though, which is very, very good. I think if he didn't dodge that, he would have died there.
Yeah, is going to be a turret taken down in the bot lane.
Yeah.
But as you were saying, Pinducky, meanwhile, going in underneath the turret, pops the Kale ultimate, putting down the attacks. The gravity field stuns him up. The Chaos Storm gets him again, and Pinducky a little bit over-aggressive.
Mafcow with the plays. That is the second time he's done that this game.
Yeah, don't walk into a gravity field, I guess. I've also just realized that I can see the future on your screen now. That's exciting.
Oh, man.
Ooh, and Victor, yeah, we talked about this a little bit before the game. A lot of physical damage threats coming in, and we do see Victor picking up the Zonia's Hourglass, actually first item.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, gotten a couple of the Hex Core upgrades first and an extra Doran's Ring, but altogether it's still quite an early Zonia's.
Yeah, no, the Zonia's Hourglass, I don't necessarily know if I like that so early, just because of how much weaker it is. It only gives 70 AP now, down from 100, and the active cooldown got nerfed substantially.
At the same time, it is significantly cheaper than it used to be.
It is, but the thing is, like, when you rush an item that gives that little damage, it's gonna mess up your power curve.
Kaleido jumping in onto Coenzyme M. Sivir does get caught out in the mid lane. He actually did a good job. I think he dodged the damage on the Talon ultimate, just barely.
He burned the heal to do it.
Yeah, burned the heal to get away. So both summoner spells there, heal and flash.
Yeah.
But did not get assassinated, which is very important.
Yes. I mean, okay, but yeah, Mafcow is finding his way back into this game, but because of the build, I would say he's kind of been forced to go that route, actually. Because the build he's either chosen or been forced to take by the very fed Kaleido on the other team, his power curve is going to be somewhat delayed compared to what you'd expect. And he's getting dove, actually.
That's a Cullen going in on a Mafcow. Another good gravity field, actually. Force Kaleido to flash over it, and flash back from Mafcow will keep him alive. Fenny Vici jumping in with the Braum. So staying alive underneath the turret there. I think, yeah, teammates, they have a substantial lead. I think they're starting to get a little bit over-aggressive with it, going in under tower against Victor, who has very solid tower defense. Green Bay diving onto Coenzyme M, not going to be able to escape from this one, as he doesn't have either of the summoners up. Might be a Retribution kill coming in, and flash away from Green Bay, actually going to keep him alive for the time being. We'll follow that fight in just a moment, but Kaleido underneath the turret gets exhausted. The turret shot comes in. Coenzyme DA finishes off the kill. We did see Green Bay going down at the end of that fight. It looks like the Garen was able to chase him down. Fluffykins, I don't think that's what he meant to do.
Everybody saw that. Everybody saw that.
Yeah, I think he mixed up B and F. Pinducky recalling, gets found out by the Braum and Graves up here. Gonna try and trade back onto him. That's the Sterix popping fear from Coenzyme.
Oh!
Just barely able to kill him. That's two members able to take down Pinducky. And Rageblade not doing quite enough for him there. And I think Pinducky needs to start being a little bit more careful with these split pushes.
Yeah, I mean,
he did get an inner turret for that, so this was definitely not a total waste. I think trading a turret for one life might still be worth it, but
right.
the closer to even trades they're taking, the more they're allowing Water Buffalo to maybe get back into this game.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Teammates has an 8k gold lead right now before 20 minutes, and it really doesn't look like it, because for the last, like, 4 or 5 minutes, they haven't been playing very carefully around their gold lead or their item timings. They haven't necessarily backed for all the items they want when they've wanted them. Pinducky could have finished his Rageblade much earlier. He just backed and finished, or, well, not backed, he just died and finished it.
A very early Baron coming here from teammates. Okay. There's no vision around here from Water Buffalo. This is a really nice sneak, and they're going to be completely uncontested.
I actually really like that decision because of how far ahead you are, and because that team is so good at just absolutely destroying Baron, especially with the new Rageblade. That was a very, very good decision, and this Baron lets them make those overly aggressive plays that they've kind of been making for the rest of this game.
Yeah, and that'll help Pinducky's split push pretty enormously.
Oh, yeah.
They are going to group as a 5 in this mid lane now. Try and push down this inner turret. Wolstenholme teleporting in from Garen. The team fight, though, already starting. The Zonia's popped quite early here from Mafcow, so he's not going to have the safety. A big burst coming in on both sides. Kaleido staying alive with the Kale ultimate just a little bit longer, but doesn't put down more damage on the end of it. That's going to be almost everyone dying. It's all 5 down, actually, from Water Buffalo. Only Kaleido going down. And I think he was able to tank a bunch of that damage with the Kale ultimate on him. Well done by Kaleido.
Such a beautiful intervention from Pinducky to keep Kaleido alive in the fight through everybody's focus fire. Now, I don't think they have the wave to actually close out this game.
I can tell you they do not.
Thanks,
so
Orkley.
They will get one Nexus turret. They are going to maybe
They're probably
going to
get the second.
Yeah, they're going to push in for the second Nexus turret. Death timers, though, still quite short. We're only 21.5 minutes again. 2 Nexus turrets going down, but Pinducky's staying in there. Going to be taking a bunch of damage. The Chaos Storm, second tick taking him down. Still 3 alive here, but they're all quite low, and teammates gonna have to back off.
Yeah, I mean, Pinducky did so much to win that fight. The intervention was super, super good, and then his AoE damage for the cleanup was just absolutely brilliant. Healing Kaleido as well to make sure that Kaleido survived as long as possible and did as much damage as possible in the very middle of that team fight, focused by 4 or 5 people. That was a very, very nice team fight taken by the teammates. That is the kind of team fight they should have been going for all game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where you want your Kayle and your Talon is in the middle of a grouped fight,
Absolutely.
able to put their abilities down over everyone. So nicely set up for to get a good fight off there. So we do see only the top and bottom inhibitor turrets still remaining here for Water Buffalo. So that mid lane's going to be pushing against them. They are going to have to stay back and deal with this, just because they don't have any Nexus turrets to catch that wave when it gets into their base.
Yeah.
And going to be Dragon number 3 going down. I think that was a Water Dragon. It's going to be picked up by teammates.
I think we can check.
Yeah, we can take a, if you hover the Dragon buff. So that's
no, that was
that's a Cloud Drake. I don't know the symbols yet. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, two Mountain Dragons and 1 Cloud Dragon. So they're going to be a bunch of extra objective damage and a little bit of extra out-of-combat movement speed. Jumping in for the fight, Mafcow pops the Zonies, but he's in the middle of the whole team, gets exhausted immediately on coming out, and blasted down.
Their Water Buffalo's just so out of position.
Yep.
They're not there to defend their base.
And Braum taking a bunch of damage, going to be able to get back onto the fountain, but this is going to be the Nexus taking hits now. They can just go straight on the Nexus, but they're going to take down the rest of the team on their way out as well. Wolstenholme and Coenzyme DA coming back. Nexus is at half health, Garen's going to die first, and this is going to be game number 1 going over to teammates just as soon as they turn around to take it. And get the ace first.
All right, very, very well played by the teammates. Props to Green Bay for snowballing every lane. Props to Pinducky for absolutely dumpstering everybody with his damage. And for an amazing kill ultimate in that second to last team fight. Very, very nice game 1.
Yeah, both of them with a really, really strong early game. I do want to see in game 2. I'm expecting to see a Kayle ban coming out immediately.
No kidding.
Not letting that happen again.
No kidding.
But I do want to see a little bit later in the game, if Pinducky gets that strong early game again, turning it into a strong later game as well, and not getting caught out quite as much in the split pushes. He was taking turrets, and drawing off a few members of the team, so still doing a good job, but could be even better.
So some of that was okay because he let the rest of his team, secure objectives with that, but I think he could have played that a little more conservatively, especially towards the later stages.
Yep. And that is game number 1, a decisive win in the end for teammates. We will be back with you in just a couple minutes for game number 2 in this best of 3, so stay tuned.
All right.